Good.
Yep.
All right, call to order of the Zoning Board of Appeals for the City of Easthampton. Today is Thursday, October 10th, 2013. First order of business is approval of the minutes of the September 12th, 2013 meeting.
Make a motion to approve the meeting.
Okay. All right. All right, all in favor? Opposed? So moved. Okay, public comments and speak time. Is there anyone who is here who is not already on the docket who has questions, concerns, issues? All right, moving along. Public hearing. We have a continuation of Mark Britton of 33 Mohegan Ave in Indian Orchard, Massachusetts, for property located at 29 River Street in the city of Easthampton, seeking a special permit and/or variance for reconstruction of a pre-existing non-conforming garage in a floodplain protection district and required setbacks pursuant of the Easthampton zoning ordinance 7.1, 11, and 13.1. Property is zoned R35.
Well, unfortunately, I think we're closer, but unfortunately, I wish we were there. If you recall from our last hearing, I really need something more specific from Hometown Structure or someone else that would at least could validate, I guess you could say, or validate that the structure is, one, in compliance with the building code, Mass Building Code, and two, that it's also in compliance with the floodplain regs in the building code.
Correct.
So we had a couple of attempts at this letter. It's not a difficult letter to write, and I don't know why I took multiple attempts with these folks. So you have the most recent letter from Andrew Kurtz, who's the licensed construction supervisor there. He's got his license numbers. I think at least a little bit of his background is there, at least to give him some credibility as to his opinion. I asked repeatedly for them to put in there the specific section or chapter that applies. I don't know why it's that difficult, why it's not in there. Once again, at least it's sort of, despite that not being there, I still think it at least addresses what the board was asking for at the last hearing. Obviously, that's for you to determine whether it's sufficient or not. But that's there. This has been before Public Health, they've signed off, and Conservation signed off. Unfortunately, there was not a quorum Tuesday night with Planning, so that's where I think we are stuck, where I don't believe you can vote on this tonight and give us the final approval.
Didn't Planning approve this before?
I thought so, but
I thought the Planning Commission had approved this before.
Right. So originally, when the application was submitted, we submitted the request for the various committees to look at it, because the floodplain protection was not specifically included in that piece of it.
Oh, okay.
The board, if I remember correctly, wanted more data that there was that this structure would be in compliance, and essentially we wanted to get then specifically for the floodplain regulations the sign off from the Planning Board, the Board of Health, and the Conservation Commission.
Okay, because this isn't what I expected, but I'm the one who raised the issues, and I think this suffices if the building official feels it does.
Has this been presented to Joe?
it's my understanding these folks from Hometown Structure, I know they reached out to Joe. I don't know the end result of all that, because by the time they finished this letter, he's been at some training at UMass or something. He hasn't been here the rest of the week. These folks claim that they have a good relationship with Joe. They've done many projects in the city of Easthampton. It's routinely that they go through him. They've asked me that once, assuming we clear this hurdle here, they've asked if I would allow them to deal with Joe directly with the permits, because they have a relationship.
Right.
My guess is that, I don't know if he specifically signed off on this. It's my understanding from speaking with them that they don't feel there's a problem with Joe because of their history, that what they do is compliant. And obviously, he's not gonna let something go up that's not compliant, and once again, they're aware of the regs as far as the building code and what needs to be done.
All right.
So it's, the biggest issue with dealing with them is they're overlooking zoning and thinking of Joe in the permit. And I'm like, you're missing the point, is what's been trying to explain to them. You're missing the point. We're not there yet.
Right.
Okay? I understand what you're saying, but you're missing the point. We're not there yet. We have one more hurdle before we get there, and they're like, yeah, that's right. But Joe understands. He knows what we do. I know he does. I get that.
Right.
You're missing the point. We're not there yet. And that's where it's been a nightmare trying to get them to do this.
Sure.
And I don't know what, it's been very, very clear to them what I've asked from day one. I've shown them the regs, I've explained it to them. I'm just beyond myself that it's that difficult.
At the end of the day, you are still looking to construct a building that is no larger than the structure that's there currently, correct?
It's a tall.
Other than the height.
Only tall.
Yes.
Right.
So the footprint is the footprint.
That's why this letter, I think, covers us.
I think this letter covers us in essence that, the concern is that if you build in a floodplain, have you mitigated the flood area that would be created by putting your structure in the floodplain? The fact that you're not building a structure that is any larger than the existing structure that you're going to remove, this thereby says that they have addressed the applicable regulations required for constructing in a floodplain, that thereby they are assuming the responsibility of that regulation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I say it too.
Do we agree on that?
Yeah.
All right.
Footprint stays the same, so there's, that's...
Yeah.
And they're saying they comply with the flood regulations. So my concern was that the city of Easthampton had some...
Absolutely.
It doesn't, because of this.
Right. So, would someone like to make a motion?
Just a point of clarification. Not to derail this,
Yes.
but because we haven't received comment back from the planning board, there's still a statutory waiting period in which the board has to wait the 21 days to hear back from the planning board. So I am going
Ready and the
to...
door was locked. Okay.
I mean, is it, I think we all agree that we don't expect the planning board to be an issue here. Is it possible to at least put a vote pending of that? I mean, is it not? I don't
That's
know.
why I asked if the planning board, I thought they had already voted, and so why did they need to vote again? That was my question. Because the applicant has waited a considerable period of time. And if they don't have jurisdiction over the floodplain, it would be the same vote.
Yeah. I mean,
I believe we've made decision pending approval or comment by other board, haven't we?
Yes. And I thought too that the planning board already...
they never responded to the original request.
So is no response a yes?
I would think we don't care.
Right, but they still have to be, it's up to the board. I'm not gonna say anything.
How many days is the filing, the appeal period, and all that? That's more, before it can be filed on the land records, the earliest.
It's a 20-day appeal period.
We have a 20-day appeal period from when the
Decision
is
stamped and recorded by the department.
Correct.
And this letter was submitted to the city on Tuesday,
Yes.
so,
And the clock for the planning board started on Tuesday.
right.
So they have 19 days.
Do they meet within those 19 days?
Yes, they do.
Okay. And when do they meet?
Not this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday.
They meet the following Tuesday. So that would be the 22nd.
Yes.
Right? Yep. So the planning board meets 10/22. I don't think that, if we were to render a decision pending approval on 10/22. With that,
And then it would not be filed on the land records for, and then stipulate that it couldn't be filed for the 20 days after that? So that,
Yeah.
that would, so,
you're right, we could stipulate that pending approval of the planning board, the appeal period, we would not submit to the deed, the board of records, for 20 days thereafter.
and so technically the appeal, the
Yeah, I mean,
public would still have a 20-day appeal period.
Yeah, and so the board could, you know.
It will not be official until the planning board meeting, and then
Yeah,
the
because the
20...
board could take the vote on it pending that
Yeah,
Correct.
decision, and then actually issue
The clock would start at that time.
Right, and wait, and you can just wait to draft the decision until after we receive no comment back from the planning board
because
in the 21 days, and then,
so the applicant will save a week or two. They don't have to wait
yeah, and then we'll have to come back for another hearing.
Be great, because the next hearing,
I
I'm
miss you guys.
gonna be out of the country at the next hearing anyway, so I wouldn't be here either way, I suppose.
Okay.
I think that's why we should proceed.
All right. So you want me to make the motion?
Yes.
Well, you're gonna have to wait.
All right. I make them, well, we had, because we have more than, and required setbacks.
There's multiple parts to this.
Where's Maggie?
So there's the floodplain regulations, there's the special permit of floodplain regulations, and then there's the special permit for changing a pre-existing non-conforming structure that's in the setbacks.
Which is within the setbacks. And that's 11
That's a
or 13.1.
13.1 is variances.
But we don't need a variance.
Right.
Okay,
So
so
it'll just be
11,
7.1 and
7.1 is the floodplain, and 11 is the non-conforming. Okay. I make a motion that we approve the application by Mark Britton at 33 Mohegan Avenue, Indian Orchard, for property located at 29 River Street in the city of Easthampton, seeking a special permit for reconstruction of a pre-existing non-conforming garage in the floodplain protection district and required setbacks pursuant of zoning ordinance 7.1 pertaining to the floodplain and 11 pertaining to a non-conforming pre-existing structure. This approval is contingent on the approval by the planning board at their meeting on October 22nd, and the appeal period of 20 days will begin at that point.
But the decision's filed that day.
Excuse me?
The decision has to be filed that day in order
Yes,
for
the
appeal.
decision will be filed, it can't be, the decision would have to be filed on the 23rd, pending the approval by the planning board on the 22nd. All right.
Second.
We have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You just built this one building season because of bureaucracy.
Yeah.
We'll invite you all over.
Groundbreaker with the show.
Go by on my kayak and have a nice day.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, and thank you for your patience.
Thank you for yours as well. I mean, it's your time that keeps on getting used on this too.
Well, somehow we keep coming back month after month.
Yeah, especially on Thursday nights during football season.
We'll let you know when our Christmas party.
Excellent. Thank you. Have a nice night.
Thank you, bye-bye.
And look at that, it's 7:16, and our next appointment is at 7:15. All right. Open hearing for Tree Cycle LLC of 35 Torrey Street in the city of Easthampton, seeking a special permit for a home trade occupation and related signage pursuant to Easthampton zoning ordinance 10.4 and 10.04. The property is zoned as R35. Is there anyone here pertaining to that?
Hello,
All right. Please state your name and...
I'm Craig McNeil.
Craig McNeil.
Yep. And yeah, nice to meet you. We just moved into town, and we want to use one of the rooms in our house for an office for our business.
Okay. And what is your business?
We're arborists, and we're also artists. We use the wood and/or get the wood. We kind of think of ourselves as a conduit to get the wood to artists, people making things. I'm a potter, studied ceramics, and I do wood firing. So I kind of used to do tree work for free, and then I realized it's a way to earn an income and connects me to my artwork, and it's really fun. So yeah.
Okay.
The business is 3 partners: my wife, Marie Brown, and Brian Leff. This is our certificate of LLC. I thought I'd bring it to show you. Hand it around. It's actually from 2012. We're renewing it right now, and the only change that's going to happen is our address, if we're allowed, and my wife is going to be an equal partner. Okay, the 3 of us. So yeah, we're really just looking to use the office space. We want to be able to park our truck there if we need to, if it's kind of like convenient, so we don't have to drive it back to we don't have it yet, but our eventual yard or place where we would park the truck.
Okay, you're not looking to store wood chips or logs or things along those lines?
No.
Okay.
We plan to actually have like the yard eventually of our own in a place that would be zoned for it.
Okay.
We're looking at like Holyoke and in Easthampton as well. Trying to find, it would be just like a place where we would process the wood.
And when you say process the wood, are you looking to cut it into...
Yeah, we'd like to mill it. Yeah, we'd like to be milling. So far, we've only worked with mills.
Okay.
Bringing logs to mills, we pay the mill, they mill the boards, and then we have like we started the business in Boston, so we have a space in Boston that we rent. We have a lot of wood stored there, and we're selling it and getting it to, trading it to artists or selling it to artists. It's not kiln dried, so it's green, so there has to be kind of an understanding of wood to work it.
Sure.
But yeah, the place where we live it's a really nice spot. All of our neighbors are quite far away.
You can't see your house from the road as I drove by it.
Yeah, you can't really see the
house
house.
is way back in the woods.
And
And actually, the woman who's not here is your neighbor.
I know, she's actually like one of the reasons why we're here. Her husband Pete is one of my wife's best friends.
Okay.
So we've been coming to visit Easthampton for a long time, and I was in school in Boston, and we finally kind of decided we gotta pick a place to live that we really like the place, because we have our own company. We don't really have to move for a job. We can move to a place that we think is beautiful, and we love coming to visit Pete and Maggie. And then this house came up for rent, and they told us about it, and they said you should check it out. So we did, and it's an awesome spot.
All right.
Yeah.
When you say truck, what type of truck?
It is over I looked into the law, I think, or the inspector, the building inspector guy, I don't know his name, but he said it can't be over 10,000 GVW or something like that, and our truck is over. So I thought maybe I should mention that too, and I don't know if it's too late to put that in, but it is 14,000 pounds, so it is a dump truck. It's a 2012, so it's really quiet. It's a 4-cylinder engine. A lot of big diesel pickup trucks are louder than our truck. But still, it does have a backup alarm, so it beeps.
Where, I looked in the regs, because that was my only concern with the
Yeah.
business, what size of truck,
Yeah,
that it wasn't one of those boom tree trucks.
it's not a
Technical terms? I don't know what they're called, but you know what I mean.
bucket truck or, yeah.
Is
train,
there
it's not-
something in here about truck weight? Because I couldn't find it.
It might be in the general ordinances.
Okay, all right.
Well, the building inspector is the guy who told me about that, that he said, well, what size is your truck? Because you should mention that to them, make sure that that's approved, because if it isn't, then some neighbor might complain
Right.
about it. But if a neighbor complains about it, I'll totally find a better place to park it. But I don't think it'll be a problem. It'll be like coming in at night and then in the morning going out. I mean,
So it's a dump truck?
It is a
not a
dump
boom
truck.
truck?
It's a dump truck, yeah. It has a, they call it a chipper truck. So that's kind of the term for it. It has a box in the back. Ours is made out of wood. Some of them are metal, but it's like for chipping into and for putting log or wood into.
But you're not looking to put anything larger by way of
No.
vehicle in this?
And only that, yeah, we don't want to buy a bucket truck we have a good joke about that. The bucket truck guys just get fat. If you start using the bucket, then you're gonna just gain weight and not, because we climb the trees by hand, so it's a big part of our whole. Also, they're very expensive, and we just bought this truck, and we need to pay for it first. And I think we're looking at a couple years before we get invested in another truck.
All right.
But I mean, I think, yeah, for right now, it would definitely be for. I think that's all it's allowed is one truck, and so.
Okay. And one of the criteria of having a home-based business is obviously the number of employees. So you and your wife live at
We
this
live there,
residence?
yeah.
Okay, and you're one employee who would be parking a vehicle there.
He's technically a partner, but he is
Partner.
the other person who works in the office with us. We both do estimates and invoices, and we each have our computer. So he would have a space in the office that he would, have his own little desk and his computer.
Right.
And yeah, he would come. He would only be there maybe in the morning, or maybe not. Probably actually in the afternoon to do. I mean, it would be like once a day just to do a couple emails.
All right.
Yeah, my wife is mostly she's like designed the website, and she does a lot of the paperwork that needs to happen.
Okay.
So
There'd only be one person going there, which I think was your point.
Yeah, that was
So you're
the,
not gonna have customers coming to your house,
No.
are you? Because you'll be,
yeah, we're not really planning. Yeah, we're not planning on that. Our company is really a service-based company, so we usually go to the customer's house, and if a customer came, it would just be as a friend. It wouldn't be for business.
okay.
Well, I think it fits in our regs, and I think we should not discuss the truck in our motion, because it's not under our
Right.
regulations.
Regulations.
That might be on top.
All right.
Well, the only problem with that though is that it is over I think as a resident, isn't it as a, if
Well,
I think that's okay, it's
our
fine.
rules don't cover it, because I looked for it in here and I couldn't find it, because I was curious.
Oh, so you can't really say like, oh, we approve
No.
that it's a bigger truck.
Right, because it's not something we can rule on.
All right, so there is a possibility that I'll have to find another place for the truck. And I guess if I get like a cease and desist thing.
yeah, if you're challenged in
Yeah,
some
if you're
way.
challenged.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think at that point, then he could come back here to appeal the challenge.
It might
Well,
not be
whoever
this, it might not be this board.
This is
Right.
true.
Because the building inspector enforces the zoning ordinance. The general ordinances are
Enforced by?
the police, or the Board of Health, or there are other regulatory authorities in which the zoning board of appeals is not the appellate court.
Okay.
We're also really working hard to find a better place. And the truck, it's really only until we get more established. I mean, we just moved here. We're
Okay.
Off the road, I don't see anybody would complain. If nobody complains, then there's no issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of businesses that I think run the same type of truck that you're
Yeah.
running
Yeah.
that are pre-existing in this municipality.
Yeah.
There's one, a boom truck. in a residential zone.
There you go. No, but we're not the code enforcement.
I know, that's why I...
appeals.
I know.
All right. So would anyone like to make is there any other concerns, questions? Would anyone like to make a motion? I make a motion that we approve the application by Tree Cycle LLC at 35 Torrey Street in the city of Easthampton, seeking a special permit for a home trade occupation and related signage pursuant to Easthampton zoning ordinance 10.4 and 10.04.
I'll second it.
We have a second. All in favor? Opposed? So moved. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Here's your...
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
All right. Is there any other business?
I have a question for Jamie.
We're all set. Thanks,
We're all
Laura.
set. I'll be in touch with you, and
Okay.
we'll be mailing you the decision.
All right.
The final decision will be filed within a week or so, and then there's a 20-day appeal period, at which point you're good to go.
After the 20 days, we're good to go?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
I have a question about home occupations, because the 3 that have been approved since I've been here, it's basically the sourdough bread maker, the lady who kept cleaning supplies in her house, and this gentleman. Basically, they're occupations that nobody would know they were conducting a business in their house. Only one asked for a sign.
Nobody comes into their residence.
Right, so but I asked you a month or 2 ago about that garage on Duty Avenue. And that looks like a commercial building, it's used like a commercial building, and it doesn't need permission. But we make gentlemen like him come in and get a permission. There seems to be divide or something. Have any of you gentlemen ever driven down Duty Avenue? There's a new Butler building with 20 or 25 foot garage doors. It's metal, it's in a residential zone. It looks like it's on a lot all by itself, but the lot goes to one of the houses near it because it was on the market when I was looking for a house, so that's why I know. It looks like a separate lot. It looks like a commercial building. It's used commercially.
Is it used commercial?
Yeah, it's a landscaper, I think. He doesn't have a sign out front, but he has his names on his trucks. And I feel bad for people like this who come in, and something like that doesn't need ZBA approval, and that to me impacts the neighbors. Just something to think about.
Well, I mean, as I told you, I checked in with the building inspector about that building, and it was, he filed he got the building permit through the building inspector, and that met all of the building inspector's conditions.
So the only...
But I don't know anything about
Because our
uses that...
requirements for home occupations include, any such building shall include no feature of design not customary in buildings for residential use.
Right.
This has 20-foot garage doors, and it's a metal Butler building.
But I mean, for an accessory structure, such as a garage, there are no requirements in the zoning ordinance that describe what
Okay,
immediate...
it's just, someone
It has to be
actually
less-
mentioned it to me.
Yeah.
Someone who was driving down there and asked, did your board approve that? And I said, no way. Okay, I just wanted to bring it up, if any of you gentlemen had a
It never came
chance.
here, so no.
I mean, if there's a use going on in that building that wasn't approved and it's not residential,
Well, there are a lot of landscapers in town, or tradespeople who drive their trucks home,
Yeah.
but they don't build a Butler building with 20-foot garage doors. They don't, I don't want to say flaunt it, but
Yeah.
it just seems out of place. That's just my comment. All right.
yeah.
Okay, I have no more comments.
Anything else? Okay, meeting adjourned. Motion to adjourn?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.